A racing car that made a name for itself during the first decade of the last century traveled back to Long Island recently, along with its current owner. Chris Collora reports on the classic American race car that beat its European competition in 2 successive Vanderbilt Cup races.
This is a 1909 Alco 6 racer called the Black Beast. It competed in and won the last 2 Vanderbilt Cup races on Long Island. Long Island racing historian Howard Kroplik recently purchased the car in Brussels, Belgium, and brought it back to the U.S. He says the Black Beast was in good running condition.
The previous owner said he got it up to 120 miles per hour, which is kind of scary.
The race car was manufactured by the American Locomotive Company in Rhode Island and is only one of 12 cars built by that company known to still exist today. The Vanderbilt Cup races were held from 1904 to 1910 on Long Island. They were moved further south, and Kroplik says they were like early NASCAR.
Vanderbilt Cup races were major sporting events. They were the Super Bowl of its time. They would draw, I think the first year was about 50,000 people to Long Island, and by the 1910, over 300,000 people attended these races. These were major events. It was front page news.
The races were international competitions set up by William K. Vanderbilt II. He built the first concrete speedway known as the Vanderbilt Motor Parkway as the first racetrack. The races were intended to spur on competitive rivalry between the U.S. and European automakers, and for the first few years, European cars won the races.
That was really the main goal of the Vanderbilt Cup races, was to make American manufacturers realize they had to build better cars to compete with the Europeans, and that was the whole basis for the Vanderbilt Cup races. So he had a big influence on improving American cars.
And the Vanderbilt Motor Parkway still affects Long Island's traffic and infrastructure to this day.
He wanted a highway, but one that was landscaped, so it became a parkway, a highway that was landscaped, and it was that idea that's going to cause a number of other people, including Robert Moses, who will later on build the Northern State Parkway, the Southern State Parkway, Meadowbrook Parkway, Wantaw, in line with what was first done here on Long Island by Mr. Vanderbilt.
Howard says he's happy to have the car back on Long Island, but as far as its future, one of the things he wants to do is bring this car back to the Indy 500, where this car participated in the very first 500-mile race.
This car ran in the first Indy 500 in 1911, and they're having centennial celebration, so I'm hoping to bring it back there to 2011 and hopefully do a lap around the course.
Kroplik says he also wants to create an exhibit at the Vanderbilt Museum where people can learn more about the Vanderbilt Cup races and see the early race car for themselves. In Central Port, Chris Collora, LI News Tonight.